Hello and welcome back to Hardspace Shipbreaker. My name is Vilkata, and in this episode, we're going to break down a Gecko Salvage Runner. Now, the Gecko Salvage Runner may be the most difficult Gecko to accomplish in 4 shifts. In fact, I'm just going to start to save myself a little time right now because I know how much of a pain this ship can be. Now, I know you might be saying, well, how is this one more difficult than the station hopper? Well, this is the station hopper but worse. So the station hopper is challenging to get in 4 because it has an inner shell.
Credit applied.
Well, this one also has an inner shell, but the inner shell has chambers that make it harder to do a massive cutout of the floor. And it has these kind of bay doors here that are oddly attached. They're not easy to cut out. And it all adds up to this thing takes longer to accomplish. So we need to be really on it in this episode if we want to get this done in 4.
Levels dropping.
Oh boy. So right off the bat, there's already a problem, which is a forklift. Forklifts are troublesome in vessels because they are heavy and they are not attached to the ground. They are floating objects, even though they're not floating around. But when you do a decompression, it will start banging around, and it's so heavy that it will destroy all kinds of things and even push the entire vessel around in some cases. So we're not excited to see one of those in the airlock.
Pressure levels increasing.
We almost certainly will end up breaking this forklift. And I'm just... Oh, not another one!
Airlock pressure levels dropping.
Alright, so we are on a hunt for a working atmospheric regulator. We're just going to go quickly through here, close off every chamber as we go. That one's broken. This is a cargo room. I doubt it even has a regulator. It does have one, but of course it's broken. Usually, at least the cockpit has a working regulator. Broken. ECU room. Just going to open both doors up because we're never going to check them both. Broken. Alright, cockpit's working. Time to do a chamber by chamber decompression and hope that nothing goes drastically wrong.
Air pressure level decreasing.
And I said I'm going to be fairly quick about all this because I know how long this is going to take. So also while we're here, because this chamber is now safe. We're going to have it closed off. While we're here, we want to break out this storage bin and this storage bin because they have got the entire front of the ship held in place by it, and it's helpful if we take out this computer terminal and this one as well because it's attached to the front, and even though it's not holding it in place, when we try to pull away the front of the vessel, they can kind of block it. So we're okay with having floating objects now that that's decompressed and that is closed off. Nothing's going to go in there after this. Okay, that's bad. So I can already tell you what that did because he's not panicking. So that decompressed the outer shell, which means we probably have a coolant leak in the back because it went around all those pipes So this one could be bad too, because there is a one of those. Stop bouncing around, please. Okay, that was dangerous. We got lucky because it was hitting those electronics and didn't actually damage them. These two doors go to the same chamber. Would you please go back in that room? Thank you. Okay, it looks like, yeah, it decompressed everything. All right, that's the good news, right? We're past the decompression phase.
Levels increasing.
Start opening everything up so that we can get through this place quickly. The bad news is that there is almost certainly a coolant leak in the back somewhere because that decompression that didn't open, did it?
Airlock pressure
The decompression that happened was in the ECU room where all the coolant pipes are. So we're gonna get into the shell of the vessel, start cutting it up, and we're gonna check the back to make sure that, you know, it's not like we're not on the countdown. Oh yeah, on the. Okay, so this stuff's all gonna be destroyed if we don't get it out of here quickly. Yeah. So the other problem with this vessel is that there's a lot of just stuff floating around in it. It is a salvage ship. You know, I don't want to cut this stuff out yet. I want to find my way into the shell, which I think we're just going to cut our way in. It is decompressed. We're going to eventually cut our way through these floors anyway. So why not do that now? I don't want to make this too large of a cut because we don't want to, it's going to be in our way when we're trying to fly around under the ship until we actually open the ship up. Don't think I got that corner. There we go. Alright. We'll come back to that piece later. Alright, while we are concerned about the back of the ship, I want to just make my quick cut run through the front because the front is heavy and it's going to take a long time for the tethers to drag stuff where we want it. So I want to free up the front so that once we're outside we can start moving it. Get everything off the walls. I don't see any aluminum, so I'm not worried about using the spreader to kind of speed cut my way through here. And we're just going to go out through the floor. Pretty good job. We're on a pretty good pace here for the first shift. All right. these floor panels out of the way.
Oxygen reserves are low.
Valuable object processed. Credits awarded.
Got about 5 minutes left in this shift, Cutter.
And we can get
Don't bite off more than you can chew.
the front started. So this panel over here is the cockpit. I want to pull it away, and since we remove those objects from the front, it should be detached. And this one we're going to send straight into the processor. And you can see the front is having trouble moving, and that's just part of it. But it should be detached. Oh, just a cut. When I said it should be detached, I mean inside. That's already detached. Okay. This guy's down, so we can go around. I just want to bump these guys.
Credits deposited.
Down so they're easier to grab. We're kind of waiting for this giant chunk to get out of our way.
Valuable object processed. Credits deposited. Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
I want to start stripping away the outer shell on the sides. We can still see the arcing going on back there, and we want to get access to
Credits deposited.
that part of the ship. Okay, we can't do that.
Processing valuable object.
Don't want to break the... the thingy, the airlock. I get focused and I lose words. English fails me sometimes, even though it is my native language. So, the salvaging bays are these things right here. And they are attached kind of weirdly. This right here is all aluminum. It's not, there's no cut point. They are attached completely to the aluminum. So we need to cut around the aluminum to free it up.
Valuable object
I'm stuck,
processed.
so I'm just
Credits
gonna
awarded.
precision cut from here. Give it a little love tap. We still gotta get the console off of it. Now this whole thing is one big piece on the top. I don't know if we can get away with dragging it in. We might try. I wouldn't say it's specifically part of the strategy. But since there's no aluminum on it, none of it
Time is
has to
winding
go
down,
to
Cutter.
the furnace.
Dig deep and let's finish strong.
So, you know what? We might actually try it. This did not get pulled forward. Try again. If we went inside here, you would see a little split that would show that it is not attached. But it could still be stuck.
Processing valuable object. Credits awarded.
Alright, let's tell you what. We're going to compromise on this top piece. Because... You see my guy is freaking out because it knows that the front's... See, it's jiggling because it knows. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Got it. Alright, so the first session on these geckos tend to be a low value session because it's all cutting the shell out. 1.3 million is not bad. So let's get into the next session where we're going to start making some more money. Alright. Now if this guy would kindly come free. As I was saying when we were running out of time here, my guy was freaking out because you could see it jiggling, trying to come free. It's definitely caught on something. Let's see if we can...
Valuable object processed. Credits deposited.
Be a little cheeky here and drag this whole thing in. Again, not normally part of the strategy, but, you know, why not? It's super cool when you can drag giant chunks in all at one time. And let's get back into the belly, figure out why this guy's not pulling off the front.
Valuable object processed. Credits awarded.
While the tethers are still in place. See, we can see it's detached. It's just stuck on something. So let's just break everything out. That way, they, you know, objects that are attached could be bumping into each other. We're gonna have to break all this stuff out anyway when it comes time to empty out this room. So this will just kind of save us a little bit of time at that point. At this point, I'm just attaching because I'm waiting to see if it's going to move. This stuff's way far away from it. Alright, we're gonna have to go back out. We're wasting our time in here. We need to get that.
Valuable object. Credits awarded.
We need that front to leave. It doesn't have to go home, it just can't stay here. And I believe that is detached, right? It's just floating. Yeah. There, it looks like that was going now. Nope, no it's not. Alright, so clearly it's stuck on something. Hopefully they'll fix that problem. And this is early access. Give some more stress to the side, see if that'll wrench it free. In the meantime, we're just gonna go do other stuff because we can't spend all our time fighting with that one piece, especially while we have electrical arc still going on over here. Now this is what I was talking about when I said that this is a challenging ship. But look at how much of the inner shell there is. And unlike the station hopper, it's a bunch of hallways, which means you can't just do one big square cut and take out the entire floor. It also means it's much more difficult to split it in half when it comes time to try to get rid of the shell.
Warning. Electrical damage.
I get caught by that sometimes because it takes time for the light to fade, the flare,
Long-term job satisfaction.
and I wait too long to hit the button. But it's okay, it should be the only thing I take damage from on the shift. So I'll heal up next shift. And get the last one. We're not going to bother taking the thrusters off the back. We're just going to take it with the whole back
Valuable
unit.
object processed. Credits awarded.
And a viewer gave me a tip on the heavy cargo version of this, that the back plate, this giant massive back piece, is being held together by these two little lights, that stupid thing right there and that one right there. Now I'm going to leave them in place for the moment because I'm going to want this whole thing to move as one unit. But when it comes time to get them into the processor, I will want them separated. And we want to break this off. He's breathing heavy because there's a coolant leak around here somewhere still. And in this case, I'm going to break this one off too, to split it apart. And that's just going to get all this easier to move when I start to pull the back plate out of position. I feel like that should be part of the front piece, but it's acting like it is. It's throwing off my rhythm. There's the floor that we cut out to get in here. And there are rudders on the back, so
Material
strip
deposited.
those off.
Valuable object processed.
I mean, they're going to the same place, but we're talking about removing mass.
Salvage gained. Credits awarded.
And it's good to remove mass when you're going to move a heavy object. So let's get these off, especially get this one off, because I want to get into here where we're having the electrical problem. So I want to cut this from the corner, make sure the red line goes all the way across. Because there are support beams.
Credits deposited.
Actually, let's go ahead and separate this. Like a little easier to get the spine out. Okay, red line's crossed. Snake our way through here. And that's the last piece. Alright, now that's liberated. Let's go across and get this side while we're in here. I really want to deal with that thing inside that he's freaking
Your
out about.
oxygen reserves are dropping below statistically profitable levels.
But I don't want to have to keep cramming myself in here. So while I'm in here, you know, trying to get it all done. Now you could get this off by detonating these nanocarbon supports as well. But this is a lot faster and those are a lot more valuable.
Oxygen reserves are critical. Please contact your plan administrator to have asphyxiation coverage.
We do have asphyxiation coverage. It's called a clone.
Welcome to Visitor 9000.
Oxygen levels stabilizing.
At 150,000. Heck of a premium. Okay, seat got out here. So yeah, we've gotten ourselves into the salvage bay, which we're not going to spend time, at least at the moment,
All right,
digging
Cutter,
everything
you got
out of it.
5 minutes left of this shift before they turn the lights out.
Okay, a couple things out of the way just to get some space,
We wrap.
because it's more efficient for us to cut the floor out, and that's probably what we're going to end up doing.
Credits deposited.
And this is probably a mixture of salvage that was already in there and possibly some stuff from the decompression. No way for us to really know. Like, that was definitely salvage.
Deposit accepted.
That didn't come from anything inside the ship. We are going to take time to peel this stuff out because of the electrical arcs that's going on. We need to stop that. Okay, is that whole thing furnace? Yeah, that whole thing's destroyed. But that gets rid of the threat.
Raw material processed. Credits deposited.
Alright, that's enough. That front is really throwing a wrench in the plans. Let's get all that out of the way. Just gonna come back to it in a minute. And let's start moving this up and away.
Processing valuable objects. Credits awarded.
I didn't attach that at the right place, so it's gonna break. Should have gone up like that. And we just want to peel this guy up. This is going to make it easier for us to get everything out and get it up and away from the reactor and just everything else. It's just good practice, I think.
Valuable objects processed. Credits awarded.
Give these guys just a little pull, get them out.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
And there weren't any fuel tanks in the back, right? No, there was not.
Salvage secured. Account credit
Get
applied.
all this piping turned in. It's going pretty smoothly so far, except for the front piece. But we only have 2 shifts, and we have so much to go. Alright, now we can break this apart. Everything in here, except for those lights, is processor. And I'm going to let them just, you know, what's left of the tethers, I'm going to let them go ahead and drag.
All right, Cutter. Wrap it up. You got about a minute left.
I caught a light in the middle of nowhere trying to drag that. Okay, I'm not sure what to say about this front. I mean, we can see through it. It's clearly detached. So we're gonna See if we can just pull it sideways
Processing. Credits deposited.
at this point. It's the end of the shift, so we're just going to brute force this. Okay, good. So we can start next shift with emptying out the cockpit. This really has put us a little bit behind, but hopefully not unrecoverably behind. $3.3 million, pretty good, pretty good. Yeah, so we got the thrusters in. That's where a bulk of the money came from. The rudders, 2 rudders for $115,000. That's nice. And then just lots of nanocarbon from, you know, all of the exterior that we've sent in. It's these 2 lines right here together. That's another, you know, almost 1.6 million. So that's pretty good. And we still got a lot of milestones to go, but it's gonna rack up pretty fast. All right, shift number 3. Oop. Try to grab something to drag myself towards. So let's start out this shift with just a quick little time lapse of my dragging all of this stuff out of the cockpit. Oh, oh, oh! After I grab this guy.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
All right, let's speed up the dragging of all this stuff out.
Stable object processed. Credits deposited. Salvage secured. Credits deposited. Salvage team. Credits awarded. Salvage deposit. Credits transferred. Salvage secured. Account credit applied. Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Alright, and as standard procedure for all geckos, I always cut off the front of this and then the cockpit itself. It's a pretty good chunk that you can get out of the way, and it gives you quicker access into the interior. Plus, we're always keeping in mind that at the end of this, we have a lot of material to drag, and by taking these things off, we're removing mass, and it's going to be easier to get into, you know, getting the final shell pieces into the furnace. So we're going to break everything off the floor here. And then we're going to cut the floor out. Go and drag it up a little bit. Now you can get away with cutting from the bottom up, and typically you won't damage anything that's inside. But if you find that you have to do a second cut because the cut didn't go cleanly, then the spreader can go through the opening you've already cut and destroy things inside. And so I try not to use that method very often. Sometimes it's the best way to go, but I really prefer not to do it, especially when I have, you know, a room full of electronics, high value objects that I don't want to risk destroying. Yeah, I need to check the settings and see if there's a way I can increase the rate at which we rotate, we roll. Because I always feel like the roll rate is just too slow. Alright. Forklift is heavy. I'm just going to drag it out like that. Would make sure there was nothing for it to bang into on its way out.
Salvage deposit accepted.
And if you have a good angle, you don't have to grapple fire these things, but you want to make sure you're not... You know, make sure they're actually going to make it to the barge, because if you hang on to them too long, you can end up curving them and they go elsewhere.
Credit applied.
This is why I typically thruster. Or if I had to do a reel to pull it closer to me,
Credits deposited.
it has momentum coming my direction, and if I let go of it, it's going to continue that momentum. Even if I fling it downwards, or sling it
Salvage deposit accepted.
downwards.
Credits transferred.
And there's a chance it could go horizontally across the plane and miss the barge entirely. So I don't often use the slinging method. Heavy objects are a little bit better for it.
Account credit applied.
But it definitely can go faster if you can do it. Because a lot of times you don't have to look all the way down. Oops.
Salvage secured.
Wrong button.
Credits deposited.
I probably vaporized that. I have no idea where it went. Do we see a panel floating around here somewhere? Nope. That one's probably a lost cause. I get to chatting with you guys, and sometimes I don't pay attention to what I'm doing. Kind of run on auto. Alright. This room looks like it's done. We're not going to bother with the ECU room yet because we're going to end up taking that wall out the back. No point in tearing the floor out. This is another problem with this ship, is this rail guide goes to a processor even though everything around it is furnace. And it's really going to be a judgment call. Do we cut out the ceiling and to try to get it out? It's not really a high value object, so I don't feel bad about sending it into the furnace. Because it's that whole philosophy, right? Is if it's going to take an extra shift, and we say that probably the average daily debt is in the 600,000 range. Mine's lower than that at this point, but it's not that much lower. I assume that the average player
Oxygen reserves are low.
is probably in that 600,000 range. That rail is not going to be worth a $600,000 debt if you have to come back again, because that rail and other things that are just low value that take a long time to extract.
Material deposited.
To make sure that wasn't going to take the furnace with it. Alright, let's go get some oxygen.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
Welcome to Megatron 9.
Oxygen levels stabilizing.
So we should be able to buy a really big hose. Oh no, we're going to lose that. Yeah. That's why I don't like to send this in one big chunk.
All right, Cutter, you got
sometimes
5
gets stuck.
minutes left of this shift before they turn the lights out on you. Pitter patter. We wrap.
So I know that's not going to turn it, but we can make some money out of it. Stop freaking out, dude. I need you to focus. Yeah, so we got some of it. That's unfortunate. Alright, where were we? We were down here, weren't we? Yes, we were. Okay, we're back to the wall so we can get a better angle.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied. Valuable object processed. Credit awarded.
Please let me. Thank you. Mattress out of my way.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Pew! It's a little dangerous, but
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
I mean the beds, the crew beds are, you know, they're not electronic, and there was nothing for it to bang into on the way down. So
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
I saved myself the time of detaching it. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and grab the mattresses out, and the reason I'm going to do that is because at some point we're going to be cutting all these walls apart, and it'll just get destroyed. So why not get them out of the way right now?
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Let's see here. I'm kind of doing this because I know I'm going to be cutting through here in the end. So that's why I'm doing that long ways cut. And see, here's where the problem runs into with these ships. Is there's all these hallways, so these are making it more difficult to cut, you know, large sections out. I gotta be careful because there's stuff on the other side of those walls. I'm not ready to be doing just blind cuts. But I wanted to get some flooring out. I was hoping to get through to that as well, but I didn't want to commit to cutting heavily through the floor because I didn't know what was on the other side, which is good because look at all this stuff. Well, see, if we were in the station hopper, for example, these walls wouldn't be here, so that whole floor would have come out as one big piece. Nice and easy.
Time is winding down, Cutter. Dig deep and let's finish strong.
Yeah, I'm not feeling the four shift target.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
We're gonna really have to buckle down on next shift. And I think we're gonna have to give up those rails on the roof. We have got most of the cargo out at this point, though. You know, that's a lot of the time-consuming stuff. Still got that jack in there.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
Get you through the doorway, please. Bye-bye. 2.4 million. Not bad, not bad. Crew beds. 24 grand. And see, the mattresses are worth the same amount. Alright. Whoa. Guy They started off floating all around.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Let's get these guys across the way. Try to do it in such a way that it stays clear of the furnace. And let's just drag this guy across. Worry about him later. Alright. And get this last one. No, no.
Warning. Electrical
Oh, I'm
damage.
so bad at that.
Warning. Health levels are low.
Salvage secured.
We still got these
Credit
salvage bays to
deposited.
do. That's for us. That probably got damaged in there. Alright.
Processing valuable object. Credits awarded.
So, we need to get to the reactor. And the way we're going to do that... This is a poor setup for the reactor. As far as the geckos go, I feel like this is the most challenging to get a clean removal.
Raw material processed. Credits deposited.
And that's because the coolant pipe is wrapping all around it. Very annoying. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go into this room. So we're going to cut the room off, is what we're going to do. I need to get in there and get everything out of the room. Okay. And we're just taking the sucker right off. And that's going to be our extraction window. Let's use the correct button. Thank you.
Material deposited. Valuable object processed. Credits deposited.
We gotta be so fast. We're so out of time. Which means I don't have time to be messing with that. We'll be back over there at some point. We'll try to remember to find it floating around.
Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited.
Alright. No dilly-dallying. Let's get this out of the way because it could arc.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
Could and fairly likely will.
Reactor meltdown triggered. Action urgently required.
Alright. Clean extraction. Beautiful. Now let's get the ECU handled.
Complete. Cutter account credited.
Whoop. Some straight chair floating around out here.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
All of this is aluminum except for that. Yeah, that we can not worry about. We're not gonna worry about that pipe on the wall. Let's break this off, kind of bring it up here. Bring all this towards the end. Alright, that'll be it for that room. Whoop. This pipe gets stuck in weird places, so don't expect to get all of it. It's clearly not attached to the roof, but in some places it kind of is. And so just don't fret over it. You know, get what you can out of it, but you're not going to get the whole thing. Can be the grappler.
Processing
Too much
valuable
momentum there.
objects. Credits awarded.
Console, and we had a regulator. Okay, that's all we care about for this.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Not sure where that guy came from. Try cutting this right here. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, I got a little crazy there, but you know what? We will take it.
Valuable object processed. Credits awarded.
Alright, I think most of that is furnace, a couple of
Salvage deposit
door
accepted.
pieces.
Credits transferred.
I want to get to cutting up this ship. And I think we might have a couple of stray objects in here as well.
Valuable object processed. Credits
Let's get the
awarded.
table because the
Your oxygen reserves are low.
angry lady in
Note
our
that
head
excess
gets
carbon
mad when we
dioxide can cause damage to Link's equipment.
accidentally break it before putting it into the furnace.
Deposit accepted.
And we are going to get crazy with the cutter. We have all the fuses. Oop, oop. Ah!
Helmet
Ow.
damage detected.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Oxygen levels stabilizing.
So what happens when you get in a hurry? I've been electrocuted, got my head bashed in. Alright. We have effectively 5 minutes to cut this thing up. Like I said, I don't think we're going to worry about these rails. I know there's a couple of interior things we still got to get out. Let's just cut some flooring out. It's gonna make things lighter
Got
and
about 5
easier.
minutes left in this shift, Cutter. Don't bite off more than you can chew. We wrap.
still need to get this hoist. And you can certainly extract this rail. It's not a high value object over another shift or just getting this whole shell into the furnace. So if I were doing a 5th shift, I would probably take the time to cut it out. Any more door
Raw
handles?
material processed. Credits deposited.
There's probably one in the airlock. There is.
Ship salvaged in full.
Alright.
Credits applied.
We have 4 minutes to cut this up. We are done with being delicate. Come on, cutter. I don't have all day. That was not a good cut. Yeah, see, it thinks it's still attached. I don't have time for this. What does it think it... Ah, it's still attached to this. I know that walkway is a processor. We've lost a minute of cutting.
Salvage secured. Credits
Alright, we're
deposited.
gonna go straight down here. Cut until it stops cutting. Okay. Going a little wonky here.
Material deposited.
I'm gonna go ahead and cut the rail. And let's get some tethers going here. We are obviously not going to get the whole thing, but we need tethers attached so that we know if it's been, you know, cut free or not. All right, looks like we've succeeded in cutting that part free at least. Okay, that doesn't even go anywhere.
All right, Cutter. Wrap it up. You got about a minute left.
Yeah, and this is not obviously not going to be worth coming back. Yeah, see, destroyed rail. Don't worry about that. Apparently there was something electronic in there that we didn't get. Probably a door panel or something. Overheating. Using this. Oh, there it's going. So we did at least free that up, and we got credit for the other one. So this is gonna be fine. We're good. But that's the challenge of this, trying to get this in 4 shifts. Obviously, if we want to do a 5th shift normally, we would pace ourselves better, and there would probably be enough value left to do a 5th ship. But since we have already stripped all the value out, we got 5 million out of it. We've got all 5 of our milestones. There's no real value to going back and just getting that little bit of aluminum out. That's the remaining walls. So that's the Gecko salvage ship in more or less 4 shifts. So I hope this was informative and entertaining.
New search
Hey,
condition
I'm a
level
grandmaster.
license upgraded.
Wow, look at all that stuff. And one more rank, I can start buying some of my stuff. But anyway, thank you very much for coming out. I really appreciate it. I love people seem to be enjoying this series, and it makes me very happy to see people viewing it and spending the time with me. So thank you so much for coming out and hanging out with me. And if you liked it, leave a like. That's wonderful. It lets me know that I'm doing something right. And it lets YouTube know I'm doing something right. And any comments or questions, hit the comment section. But hopefully I'll see you guys in another episode. I'm not sure what the next ship's going to be, but I'm trying to get all the variants done of the different ships and be as thorough as I can. So see you guys next time.